What's up, people? Today we are going to be doing a nice skin fade on my client. To start off, we're going to put a bold bald line in all the way around his head. I'm using some T-cuts made by Wall. I haven't seen them for a long time and I've had this specific pair for about 10 years. But what I'm doing, you're going all the way around the head, trying to keep it even and parallel. And then once you put that bald line in, you're going to go in, you're going to knock all that bulk off with the trimmers you're using. Some people will try to go in and use their clippers. That doesn't make sense to me, strictly just because it's two different pieces of equipment. It's going to be two different lengths. So just continue to do what you're doing and take the bulk off with the trimmers. So now that you've taken all the bulk off with your trimmers, you're going to go in with your shavers. I'm using the Andis Pro shavers. They're my favorite. I'm an all Andis kind of guy. Everything I use is Andis for the most part. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to flick out without putting too much pressure, because if you apply too much pressure with the shavers, you're going to put a real hard defined line in that you have to raise the fade and flick up higher with the shavers. And once you do that, you're just asking for trouble, because the fade's going to change and your client's not going to be happy. Now here we're going to take our liners. These are my Slimline LIs. And basically what I'm doing, if there is a very faint line from your shavers, you can go in with the teeth and use the corners of the trimmers to just barely nudge whatever you're trying to take out, and it will eventually smooth out. Okay, so now you're going to go in, you're going to take your clippers. I'm using my Andis MV LIs, my favorite cordless clipper. And you're going to go up about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Some people go less, some people go more. But for me, I like to keep all my lengths when I'm fading parallel and uniform. So you're going to try to keep it right at about 1/2 inch. Okay, so now you're going to go in and it's just basically lever play from here. You're going to close your clippers just a little bit with the lever. You have no guard on there, and you're just going to start flicking with the corners, the teeth of your clippers. You're not going to hold it completely flat and square to the head, because you're going to raise that line. If you just use the corners with the teeth, you won't do that. So you're just going to go around, you're going to play with it, and each time you feel like you faded out enough, close it a little bit more until the line's completely gone. So this step isn't necessary, but I'm super OCD about the bald lines in my haircuts. So what I'm doing right now, I'm using my Slimline LIs, and I'm just going in, and any little things that you might have missed, you can go in and hit with the corners, but you don't want to go too high up into the fade, because then you're going to cause yourself to raise it, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so now you're going to go in, you're going to throw your half guard on there, and again, you're going to go about another 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch lever all the way open, and you're going to make another defined line all the way around the head. Now, just like you did before with the no guard, now we're using our half, so you're going to go in, you're going to close it a little bit. It's clipper play again, it's going to be lever play. You go in with the corners with the teeth, and you're just going to nudge at the line until it eventually smooths itself out. Now, once again, this is just my OCD kicking in. Like I said, I'm very picky about the way I fade. I'm going to drop my guard off, and I'm going to keep my clippers open. And I'm going to go in with the corners with my teeth and just barely nudge that line just to get anything out that I might have missed. Okay, so you're taking your one now, and you're going to do the same thing again with this length. You go up the rest of the way since he has a man bun, and you want to make sure you get all the hairs where the hair would part and crease. You don't want to leave anything hanging around the top just because it's going to make it look choppy, and it's not going to look as good. Now go on and close your clippers up all the way, and you're just going to knock that line out in between the open one, and now you're going to use the closed to smooth it out and finish the fade. Now, me as a barber, I love to use thinning shears. It's something that not all barbers like to do, but I do think it cleans up any little hairs that might be sticking out. Just something slick you might want to learn. Try to pick it up. Now, when you go into fade a beard, it's pretty much like fading the top of the head. You're just going backwards. You're going to go down instead of up. So you're going to bald it out. You want it to match whatever level you went down to by the ear. And then you're basically just going to go in, and you're going to take your guards, and you're going to drop down and just fade as if you were doing the regular haircut. Now, for me as a barber, I think defining the bottom line by the jaw when you're working on the beard is the most important part. I think it really defines the shape of the beard. So when you're here, you want to make sure you keep it right underneath where the jawline is. You want to keep it on that bone. That way it's real nice, dark, and defined. Now, anytime you're going to use shavers on your client's neck, always double check with them first. Some people can get really bad ingrown hairs, some people just don't like the way it feels, and some people don't like the smooth texture that it leaves on the skin. It can irritate skin, give them rashes. So always double check with your client before you use shavers on their neck. going to line somebody up. As you can see with my client, his hairline's a little funky, but you just want to keep it as natural as possible. Whichever side's up higher, you want to try to line that up all the way across. So with him, you're going to brush it down and just barely put pressure. And make sure when you're putting the line in, you're pulling down with your trimmers and not up. So when you're trying to line up the sideburns, it's kind of hard to see in the video right now, but you want to make sure you keep it as natural as possible. If you push it back too far, it's going to throw off the angle and the C, and it's just not going to look very good. So hair fibers are a very controversial topic. I wasn't very big on them until I actually had clients that were requesting them. Basically what it is, it's an enhancement that's going to allow their hairline to pop, just define it more. Some people are into it, some people aren't. I personally am, just because you can charge extra. Clients like it, and they're going to come back to you because a lot of shops refuse to offer it. So if you're the only one that offers it in your local community, you're going to be on top of the game. Now, with that being said, you don't want to apply too much. You want to put a little bit just to define the lines. If you coat it and you try to give them that nice Rick Ross beard, it's just going to look unnatural, and nobody's going to be happy with it. It's going to make any kind of picture you take for your advertising, it's going to make it look real choppy, and it's just not going to look good. Now when I use fibers, I like to spray them on and then line them up with my liners before I put the adhesive spray. I like to do that just because it's easier to get the shape you want and keep it natural versus putting the spray on first and then having issues getting it off. Now be generous with the adhesive spray, just because that's what's going to hold the fibers on. If somebody's getting married or say they're going out that weekend, it's cool to use fibers. A lot of people, like I said, request them now. It's not something that's always been around. But once you spray it on, make sure you let it dry and then you go in with your razor and you pull down. If you watch how I'm doing it, I'm pulling the skin in the opposite direction from my razor. One, it's going to protect from irritating the skin. It's going to keep them from getting razor burn. And it's kind of hard to cut somebody when the skin's pulled real tight. anytime you're going to do a beard, you don't always want to use the clippers to shape everything. If you use the shears, you can get a nice defined look, and he doesn't really grow a lot around his chin anyway, but you're just going to define it as best you can and form it to the rest of the face. Now, this cut's pretty much finished. Just going to wipe everything down, make sure he's all clean, there's no hair sticking up, you didn't miss anything. If you did, this would be the time to do it. You don't want to show them the mirror and then them catch some neck hair that you forgot, or you forgot to line something up on their face or behind their ear. You want to make sure you clean everything up and have the details done before you show them the finished cut. So this is it. This is the final product. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you like it, make sure to subscribe to my channel. If you see any equipment in the video that you might like, all the links and descriptions will be in the bio along with my social media. So make sure to give me a thumbs up if you appreciated the video. And that's just too easy, people.